All right. I think it's the first time I've sat in the middle as a moderator, so thank you guys for letting me sit here. Let's do a quick introduction of our amazing panelists, Dayana and Louie. Dayana, do you want to go first?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Erica, for having us. Thank you for creating this beautiful event at this beautiful venue. Can we get a round of applause for Erica?
Aw, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
My name is Dayana, aka Decentralized on X, and I am the new media lead at WalletConnect.
Thank you, Dayana and Erica, for having us, for being on the panel. My name's Louie, and I work at the EF on new media stuff, videos and content, and the stuff that you see and feel. And yeah, very excited to be here.
Yeah, honestly, this Fireside Chat is very interesting to me personally because I've seen the trend, I've seen it blooming, and this year is going to be a banger year for, I think, new media and creator economy. So I would love to get some amazing insights from my good friends and who've been starting this trend, to be honest. I think you guys have been, really posting nonstop, but also amazing content, and so I would love your takes on everything. Okay, let's define taste, because I feel like taste is it's an innate thing, but it can be developed. But yeah, I would love your take on what taste is in definition. Louie, want to go first?
Sure.
How is it developed?
Taste is very subjective, for sure. And everyone has taste in their own different ways. I think what we've experienced over the last 5 years of Web 2 social media is people trying to develop aesthetic taste. And taste historically has always been perceived to just be how we look at the world. I think the next years to come, taste is going to pivot from more perception to how we feel the world and how we see it. So to me, taste is a lot less about how I see things and how I dress and what I eat and where I go out. It's a lot more about how I feel, how I see, and how I understand. And I think during the journey that Dayana and I have been on, of trying to bring more stories into this space and trying to really show this is the best industry, I think, in the world. I think there's been a few things that have made people stand out, and I think from a bird's eye view, sure, taste seems like the clear answer, but I think it's just our ability to feel and understand. Everyone has taste in this day and age. It's really not that hard to develop. It's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what I think taste is.
Yeah. Dayana?
Taste is curated consumption, and I don't think that everyone has taste. I think a lot of people lack taste, which is why they need those curators to go out and tell them, hey, this looks better visually if you take some of that clutter out of this Canva design. This venue would look better if you move these tables to the right and put the speakers in the middle. To be able to have taste, you have to consume so much content that it becomes second nature and it becomes intuitive to see how things fit together. Taste is a very sensory, very sensual experience. Taste, when you really think about it, it's how you perceive, how you see the world, like Louie said, how you choose to dress yourself in the morning. Why did you choose the outfit that you're wearing now? Why did Erica choose these shoes? Why did Louie choose this outfit? How do you choose to position yourself in the world, and what do you choose to create? So I think that in this particular time right now, that there is so much AI slop, so much content, which the majority of is not even that well made, it's just out there. Having people with taste, curators, is more important than ever. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I think also crypto in general, the industry hasn't had much taste. I think it was focused more on the tech itself, that I think nowadays we start to see their content and develop our own taste. How did you, I think 2025 was a very explosive year for both of you guys. I wanted to kind of get your taste on what it was like last year, what you saw it develop in terms of taste as well in crypto. Anybody take a stab at it?
For me, it was very clear. As Dayana rightfully said, the future is, I think we can all very clearly see what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Everyone's going to have the same tools. Everyone has the same access to now understanding what taste looks like. Whereas before, it took so many years of curated consumption. now it's way less of creating your algorithm because it's already being created for you. So everyone on Earth now has access to not just building tools and building products, like Claude code is absolutely insane, and taste is abundant. It is everywhere. Even if you don't have amazing taste subjectively, it is everywhere. And if you want to develop it, you can do so very fast. So for me, it was very clear that there was a few things missing in the industry. Before I started making videos, I was just upset. I was really upset that I work what I believe to be in the most incredible environment. I travel the world with people that I love. I get to meet the most incredible people in rooms that I really shouldn't always be allowed to be in. And I'm only in because of this industry, and no one was showing that. I think it's been really interesting if you look at the landscape of influencers in Web2 and what they've influenced. And like, I'm going to be like, very clear here. When you look at a lot of the influence over the last 10 years, a lot of it has like actually funneled into e-commerce. Like if you look at the biggest creators right now on Instagram, on TikTok, and wherever else, they are actually really pushing Shopify and e-commerce, right? And the idea of that is like, hey, we want to push new ways of making money that create freedom. Ethereum is the most new way to make money to create freedom, but there's no top-down influencer trying to tell that story. So to me, it was very apparent that we need to tell the story. We need to showcase how beautiful this industry is. And the future of tech will be storytelling because we have everything that we need apart from the right stories to tell. So yeah, I guess it was really the year of trying to tell, I think, one of the greatest stories never told.
Yeah.
I'm going to use two words that I really hate. Word number one is elevate. I hate this word, but it's actually correct here. So what is happening right now is that in crypto specifically, we're starting to see an elevated design visually. So now when you go on a website, it's no longer enough to have this stupid template. It's no longer enough to go to a conference and get a black shirt, white logo. How many of these do you have in your house? Black shirt, white logo. Everyone is going for a more curated design. I'll give you a practical example. My friend Flo launched a company called Original Copy, and they produce limited batch merch for people who want to stand out. And recently at a big conference that I went to in Abu Dhabi, their merch was, you were there, it was the best merch, was it not?
Yes, yes, it was great.
At the whole event. So taste is getting more elevated in crypto. We're no longer settling for the same ugly things that are mass produced that we had before. Now, the second word that I'm going to use that I really hate is convergence. Like Louie said, Web 2 and Web 3, I also should add that I hate the term Web 3, but whatever. Yeah. They are joining, they're converging. Now people who are building projects in the blockchain space are finally starting to care about aesthetic. I'll give you a practical example. My friend Luis has a cold wallet that's called Rider with a Y. It is beautiful. It's Japanese made, it's gorgeous, it's precise, it's minimal. Complete craftsmanship, and that is what people are producing now. And his team is focused on performance marketing. They are exploring channels like TikTok. They do have a Shopify store. So now we're at a point where we're realizing, oh wow, blockchain is no longer this fringe thing. We actually want to go big. We want to go mainstream. We want to move out of the bubble. And so to create things that appeal to this mass of people who have grown up on Instagram. By the way, who in this room has Instagram? Who still uses Instagram? Okay, I thought that I would ditch Instagram when I joined blockchain, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we didn't. Yeah. So in order for you to make your project and your product palatable for people who like beautiful things, hi Shana, you have to start exploring these Web 2 strategies for taste.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think the convergence, I don't like the word either, but it is coming together. People are appreciating our taste as well. Actually, Web 2, you know, people like my normie friends, I would say, they look at my conference, they're like, hey, this is actually like, I could attend this. I love the visuals here. I love the swag here. Like, this is not the crypto only, you know, nerdy thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's the reception that I get now, it's much more open and more, I guess, likable. Yeah, so it's been, and I think this venue, everyone loves aesthetics, hopefully, and that's what I go for as well, to make it mainstream, more likable, more, yeah. And
like, just to add on to this, like, it is all about taste. Like, it is like the final end game was like, how good is your taste? But like, if your friends are like, well, Erica, this conference doesn't look like a tech conference, the reason why it looks so incredible isn't just because of like your eye in taste and aesthetics, it's because of how it makes them feel, right? And maybe the result is your eye, but it doesn't start with that. It actually starts with like, I want people to be here, right? Like what Dayana's saying, because then people feel this certain way and they look this certain way. So like the taste doesn't start with aesthetics, it starts with making people feel. And the way to make people feel is by having good aesthetics.
Oh, that's a good way to frame it. I actually saw a tweet randomly by Naval. He just retweeted his tweet from 2021. It said, eventually everyone will be in the creator economy. And I was like, okay, well, he retweeted this like literally yesterday. I'm like, this is a omen. This is a great symbol for like what we're gonna talk about today, and how creativity and creator economy is being more emphasized more and more year after year. But then I think you mentioned AI, right? Let's talk about AI and how it's trying to replicate our content. It's trying to make it perfect in many ways. I don't know what you guys think about AI. I hear some concerns, but what's your take?
I mean, I'm grateful for AI. I think it's given us all a career. Without AI, I would have never have realized the importance of telling these stories. I think as AI becomes more populated and the race for attention moves from social media to LLMs, the need for trusted creators is only going to become more scarce and more important. I think the gap and the window for becoming a trusted creator is getting increasingly smaller, but the reason why the creator economy is so important is just one word, and that's distribution. I think Ethereum has specifically always struggled with what is the story, what is the narrative, and what is the communication. And as we continue to develop this over time, and as trends change and environments change, the communication might change as well. And having to strategize with legacy media on like, what is the story, what do we get people to consume, how do we ensure that the right story is being told and the legacy of this is correct, it becomes really apparent that what if we just become the media? What if creators are the media? What if we are now the media? And I think that's what the creator economy is all about. It's about giving power to people to tell stories that they truthfully care about, that resonate with humans. And I think without the creator economy, we will never have the distribution that we deserve and the stories to be reached by the people that they need to be reached by. So for me, it's very simple. And I think if you're not becoming like an AI vibe coder, I think the only other thing that you should be thinking about is making videos and creating content that you love.
Yeah.
If you're a creator and you choose to ignore AI, it will kill your business. And let me tell you a quick story. My old mentor, her name is Alex. She is a copywriting coach. And before crypto, I was a full-time copywriter. And when ChatGPT emerged and became a big deal, Alex chose to ignore it and be like, no, this is a fad, don't worry about it. She didn't teach it in her courses, she went against it. Her business suffered, she lost students. So then 2 years later, she came around and she said, hey, I was wrong, let's explore AI. So like Louie, I like to use AI. I like to use it as a tool that helps me do things faster. So let's say that this entire Fireside Chat is recorded. I'm going to go on Opus Pro, and I'm going to chop it down to clips. And then we'll have something to distribute
Good taste,
for
Dayana.
weeks on end.
Yeah.
But if you choose to ignore AI, you're only going to make your life harder. With that said, you have to resist the slop. Stop the slop, really. I am so sick and tired of going on X and seeing all these AI-generated comments.
Oh, God.
Or I know that right now we're in the so-called creator arc. Everyone is creating vertical short-form videos that all look the same, are all edited the same way. You have to find originality, or AI will just make you replaceable.
Yeah, no, indeed.
Don't stop the slop, just create more incredible content.
Yeah, more content. Do you think like mistakes actually make the content more shine? Like, you know what I mean? Like human error kind of thing, more.
There's two things
authentic.
that really crush the algorithm when it comes to performance for content. One is the style of film that Louie makes, which is very beautiful. Pour your heart into it,
So
cinematic,
nice. Soulful.
romantic,
Very.
soulful, exactly.
Yeah.
The other kind of content that really crushes it is very unfiltered. Hey guys, let's do a get ready with me. I just got out of the shower, completely raw, unfiltered. Anything in the middle flops. So there's room for mistakes. That is raw content, and that will perform.
And there is taste in both.
Yeah.
Like you can be somebody who creates short form content and crushes it and is very algorithm savvy, or you can be an aspiring filmmaker or cinematographer, director like myself, and you can create way more slow shots. And maybe like you actually hold a frame and you don't just jump on the beat of the song. And like they both live, you know, they both have an existence.
I mean,
But AI is not what people think. Sorry to interrupt you, Erica. Like I have spent maybe 1,000 hours exploring with AI video tooling, from like Mid-Journey all the way to Kling, all the way to like the more like savvy tools that are coming out now, like Higglefield. And like, yes, there are ways that you can increase and improve your videos, but I promise you it is not where you think it is. And like any video maker like myself or Dayana or anybody else in this room that has tried to use AI tooling to improve their videos has probably spent more time failing using those AI tools, and they could have just made a way quicker video by not touching them. So it's still not where we think that it's going to be, but this year that will actually change. Like we've all spoken about how AI is going to replace video makers, how it's going to replace content. That hasn't happened yet. The CEO of Instagram has basically said this year that will happen. And that's why I think becoming a trusted creator now, the window's about to close. And I think during COVID, we had such an incredible spike of creators coming out of there because there was so much time to consume. And over the last 4 years, if you actually look at the new creators that have appeared, they've been very streamer heavy, it's been very unconventional. We haven't really seen traditional creators make breakthroughs again, like the Casey Neistats or the Mr. Beast. And I think 2026, that is going to change. And I think it's mainly going to change in the industry of tech. I would also like to highlight another point as well. I just spent 2 weeks in San Francisco staying at one of the best founder residencies in the world. And like, I want to ensure everybody here who is maybe doubtful that what we're saying is incorrect, empathy in tech has never been more important. And the pendulum has swung so back the other way, thankful to AI, where we were stuck in this rut of like almost a lack of coordination, a lack of communication, and a lack of care and empathy. And it really is swinging the other way. And there is so many incredible tech companies right now looking for not just video creators, but also directors, writers, people that lead with their heart. And I think AI has been the sole reason why we now care more about restoring faith in humanity and preserving empathy and connection.
Exactly. I mean, kind of piggybacking there. So my video that you shoot for me, like in Lisbon, like my story has been, you know, kind of on and off. I mean, it's been like very consistent, but then nobody has really like shed light on what I've been through since 2017. And he shot like a 1-hour interview of me, like literally very clean, like, you know, no edits, right? But then like it had definitely some edits in the beginning, but like that video just went viral. I think people now know, oh, that's what you actually do. And people have empathy for me because of this. Yeah. I think the empathy factor, I think that's really important in this year. I think it's gonna be increasingly more important. And like tech, it definitely didn't really focus on that, right? But nowadays it's gonna be the game changer. Yeah, thoughts on that one as well?
Yeah, I agree. Just because in its nature, tech is cold.
Yeah.
Tech is mechanics.
Yeah.
Tech is the wrench emoji.
Yeah.
Tech is left brain. So people need to balance that out because tech is scary. That's where empathy comes in, and I think empathy is one of the most important qualities for any human to have ever, because that's how we perceive the world without overthinking it. And I love that video, by the way. That was gorgeous. Why did you choose to tell your story, Erica?
I mean, what was the backstory for this? Like,
I think it was like kind of a weird coordinated mess where before I joined EF, I was running a studio. Erica gave me like an incredible opportunity to work with her partner, Ilya, and come to Lisbon and help their offsite. And it was like, I'm not coming unless I tell your story as well. And like, yeah, I remember you and I working on the brief and the proposal, and I was like, I really want to tell your story. And Erica was like, okay, like, let's do it.
Yeah, because like,
we scrambled,
it's
we
kind
made
of
it happen.
BTS, right? It's kind of people know what I do, like I host stuff, but then they don't know what I actually go through as a person. And I have many one-on-ones that, like women, for example, like they get inspired by what I do and what I have to work behind the scenes. And I wanted to kind of show that through a really tasteful video. And when Louie was up to what he was doing, I was like, this is a great fit. And so I reached out, and it went through. So it was amazing. And since then, it's been, it's been a great journey. But yeah.
I mean, like, yet again, I think I just want to mirror to anybody here who is like scared to create content. I would first of all say, I'm not the biggest fan of creating content myself. It's not why I do it. I do it because I love humans. I genuinely do. And Erica is like a perfect example for that. And honestly, so is Dayana. The other thing is like, Dayana and I haven't been making videos for 10, 15 years. We are not like legacy filmmakers making a break from Hollywood into new ways of consuming. And like technology right now is giving everyone who hasn't been a creator, who is an aspiring storyteller, who is an aspiring filmmaker, an opportunity. There is a massive opportunity right now to shine and to create attention, and we need it. We need to tell more stories, and like Dayana and I have both been running for this. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. One thing that you just made me think of is that I think, I'm going to use this horrible word again, convergence. I do think that the film industry and the tech industry will converge.
Yes.
And I think San Francisco is where that will happen because, Louie, as you've been creating content, you're going to step into directing content. By the end of this year, you will be a director. And I think that this is what other places, you know, obviously seeing Ethereum, will look at and say, hey, we need a media arm. We need someone that's directing with the taste that we want. And we need to start our own production film type of company. I just recorded a film here in Lisbon. There's a place called 94 Degrees Coffee Shop that accepts WalletConnect Pay. So
Love that place.
if you want to pay for coffee with crypto, go there. And we're not calling it a video because it's not a video. It's a film. It's the story of the founder who immigrated from Ukraine before the war, started this coffee shop, and is into tech and fashion. And I think that this is the approach that a lot of companies who can see ahead will take, where film will come in and establish itself as the way to do things in a cinematic way, as opposed to just recording a video and being like, hey, here's what happened today.
Step 1, step 2, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The narrative really does matter now. I think storytelling it's becoming more and more important. Let's talk about founders telling their story, right? I think when you also did some storytelling for me and Ilya, right? It was more like founders telling their story, and I think it's becoming increasingly important as well. What do you guys think about that? Have you maybe experiences by dealing with some founders? I mean, you've also shed some light on Pedro as well. But yeah, can you share some more on the importance of storytelling founders and how it should be? Maybe some advice or something like this?
I can start. Okay, so before I worked at WalletConnect, I worked in crypto PR, and the biggest issue that I saw with founders is that they didn't really know what their story was.
Yeah.
So we always love to see an origin story because that is also trust. We talked about trust for it today. That is also trust. If I know that someone started a DeFi company because they had a regime change politically in their country, they lost all of their money, their family went bankrupt, their friends went bankrupt, I would trust this person because they're driven and they have a mission.
Yes.
So you have to find your origin story. That is the first thing. And the second thing, like Erica said, is narrative. Do not underestimate narrative. Narrative, my prediction is, will establish itself as the other trending thing that will start to get embedded into social media lead roles as well. So find your origin story, create a narrative around it, and repeat, repeat, repeat. Repeat until people know exactly what your story is and who you are.
Yeah, good tips.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most interesting things that you'll battle if you do choose to tell more stories in technology and more specifically in the Ethereum ecosystem, for an example, is it really comes down to communication. And like maybe you could even argue Dayana and I probably obsess over communication. How do you speak about certain topics? How do you explain your story? And how do you ensure that you're not taking away your story by just brain dumping all of these incredible ideas that you might have? And I think that we've always kind of been in this loop. Like we've been in a loop as an industry where there's so many incredibly smart people, Ilya being a prime example. And sometimes it's really easy to be like so deep into your ideas, into your philosophies, that you kind of forget what makes you human.
Exactly.
And like our job is not just to help communication, it is to be a director. It is to get the best out of your talent. I was in Patagonia for a month at Edge City, and I was making 2 films whilst I was there and working way too much. But on the weekends, I managed to break out and go on some road trips with some friends. And like I spent quite a lot of time with somebody at the WorldCoin Foundation called Ian. And Ian's an incredible person. And he like made this tweet about me, which was like, I hate cameras. I hate being in front of them. But for some reason, like Louie pointing the camera at me didn't just make me feel like me, it made me feel like a completely new person. And like that is the job of a director. You know, it's to bring out the best in your talent. So really what I would advise for founders looking to tell more stories is just be comfortable and work with people that are artists and care about you And I think like neglect the communication, neglect the taste, and just seek people who genuinely care.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I chose you. I mean, I reached out to you because I trust your taste, of course, but also like you as a human.
Yeah.
And I think I could bring in any videographer, right? I could, any person, but then I think you understand my story. I mean, I think you appreciate it. I can see the mutual, respect.
Yeah.
So I think that really like clicked well and created more synergies onwards. And I think it brings a more like not a one-time thing, it kind of continuous role of a synergetic effects. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful story, even in 2026, right?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to our collaborations, and we've been like syncing on taste, and I think we just like click so well that it's just a no-brainer. So
We have the same eye.
Same eye. Like I mean, it's great, very grateful thing. Well, I mean, I know we had a gazillion things to talk about. I know we had a million things to talk about, but end of our session, any last words, any advice, any bangers you want to share to the audience?
I mean, I think Ethereum is yet to have a real breakthrough creator, and that will happen in 2026.
My biggest advice is don't feel bad when you scroll, but start curating.
Just create more than what you consume. It's really that simple.
Amazing advice. For the legends, thank you so much for your time, and give a big round of applause.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.